Good morning, beautiful peeps. Good morning, beautiful person. Good morning, singular you, multiple you, a part of multiple me, on a yellow seed day, yellow lunar seed. We are now in the wave spell of the blue night of abundance, dream time, and intuition. Lunar seed. I think that this tone explains the seed to me perfectly because it has the seed represents focus, flowering, and perception, and it has the antipode wizard, receptivity, inward looking heart, and the analog eagle. I imagine outward looking. It can also be inward looking. It's not exactly defined, but taking it from the glyph, you see a marked difference between the two. Vision, mind, and the focus being in between those two. We are focusing timelessness. Wizard is timelessness. A very open, in my understanding, very open, broad. It's an unfocused focus. It's focusing on nothing, everything at the same time. It's not really pinpoint. The ego focus is focusing at a great distance, very, very sharp, laser focus. For creation, the creative mind knows what it wants, where it's going. Although I will also say that back in the days when I used to paint, I would often have an idea of where I was going, but no sharp focus. And I would just let it flow through me and then see how it would exactly manifest. And be surprised along the way by my own doing. Very different focus. And then we have the earth in the occult position beneath the earth. We've just two wave spells ago was earth wave spells, so anybody who's following has surely a clear understanding of the earth, navigation, evolution, synchronicity. And it's how do we navigate between these two different kinds of focus? Manifesting ourselves in timelessness. In time. If I have a vision of something, it is somewhere in time. If I create something, it is somewhere in time. Bye-bye. I have an impatient part of myself that is absolutely intolerant, intolerable, impatient, and like out of control. Okay. Not a part of myself that I like very much, but there she is. Where was I? These different focuses. Okay, we're in the wave spell of, and we're guided today. Well, let's complete this one. We're guided today. Oh, and I haven't spoken about the lunar tone. We're guided by the warrior. And now, why do I say the warrior? Fearlessness, questioning, intelligence. That's the three attributes of the warrior. There are more, but I prefer to stick with the three words given in a way that that's enough. That's plenty. We can always add attributes, but let me stay here. Why do I believe the lunar tone? The lunar tone is the challenge, stabilized, polarized, stabilized challenge. There's the magnet, the beginning of the wave yesterday, attract, unify, purpose. And we all go through our purpose. We attract to ourselves what we need to fulfill our purpose or to crystallize a purpose, to discover a purpose, to be unified with ourselves, to be single-minded, focused. And then comes something that challenges that. There's always a force, always creates a direct and opposite counterforce. Is that Newton's second law of motion? I speak under correction, but it could be that. So that's the lunar tone. So if the blue night is the unconscious dream time, it's not just the unconscious. Dream time is not only unconscious, but it's something, it's still the field of known and unknown, conscious and unconscious, or the unconscious. Dream time, possibility, potential. We can think of it as the unconscious. Then the seed, the focus. Yeah, I can see how that's the intuition is. I find intuition a bit difficult to describe, even though I have an absolute clear knowing of what it is. I live by it in a way so naturally that I often don't even realize that I do, and most of us do. There's sometimes a moment where you're conscious of your intuition, where you can consciously say, my intuition says I should go left, or I should do this, even though I can't rationally explain why. It's an intuitive, it's a hunch, it's an intuition. I think we live our life 90% or more of the time guided by intuition. It's just so natural. We're not even aware of it. And for the most part, it serves us. Otherwise, we'd be. The place where I see it working the most, in a way, is traffic. When you're driving in traffic, there's no way our rational, limited little minds can handle traffic. Actually, it works on so much unconscious awareness of, we are unconsciously aware of everything that's around us and other cars and their speeds and da-da-da-da-da-da. And the intuition works for the most part, 99.9% of the time, flawlessly. You don't even know it. You pull to the left and you didn't look over your shoulder, and you enter a space that is there for you, that a fraction of a second wouldn't have been there for you, or a fraction later you'll never even know it. It's like spirit, the unseen, guides traffic all of the time. And when accidents or when shit happens, it's like something is saying, please take note. It's not an accident by definition of, it's an accident by definition of, let's say, a collision. It's an accident. We call that an accident. But it's not accidental. It's not coincidental. It's a coincidence. It's two incidents happening at the same time. But two or more incidents, whatever. But here I go again. I didn't look up how to really say it. I would wager, I would hazard a guess. I would just propose a proposal that a lot of times when we have an accident, we had a lot of little signs that we didn't see or chose to ignore. Life nudges us gently to say, hey, look over here, look over here. Something, it's also the intuition, it's also the unconscious speaking. You're tripping here, you're tripping there, you're knocking your head here, you're knocking yourself there, whatever it may be. Life speaks to us in whispers. And when we don't hear the whispers, eventually it shouts. But it's always on our side. It can't be otherwise. That's a bold statement to make, and that's a belief, I hope. It's I believe it's a universal truth, but I can live with the fact that anyone else might not agree to that at all. It's fine for me. It doesn't have to be. And I might be completely wrong, actually. So it's fine. Doesn't matter. I just like the idea of it. So, period. Blue night, abundance. And the warrior. What is this lunar seed of focus guided by the warrior? I wanted to talk earlier. I had a thought before I came in to talk about honesty, integrity, truth, and the human ability toward dishonesty, toward our human ability to be not in integrity. It's a very, very strange concept if you think about it. For me, it's very strange. Like, if I look at the animal world or the plant world, what would an animal or a plant or an insect or any other creature of non-human, how would they be if they're not in their integrity? How would they be not in integrity? How would they lie? How would it look like if they cheated or if they were dishonest toward themselves? I want to say right now that maybe they can't be, but I'm not sure that that's correct. It's just my imagination now and my life experience doesn't immediately come up with anything that I say, oh yeah, that's where they are. I will exclude animals in captivity, like in our zoos. Animals in captivity display behaviors more akin to human dysfunctional behavior, as we are also animals in captivity. Everybody in the Western civilization is in some way, shape, or form an animal in captivity, as far as I'm concerned. It's a bold statement again, and I may not be right about that. Doesn't matter. I think we are, I generalize, animals in captivity. Some of us manage to get out, but there's a big but to this statement. It's like a but, dot, dot, dot. Fill in the blanks for yourself. I think we are, I don't think we really know what freedom is in the Western world. Real freedom. And therefore, we start displaying these distortions of behavior and of integrity and thinking. So I exclude animals in captivity. I exclude domestic animals. Animals that are close to humans for any prolonged period of time will start assimilating, or can occasionally do, often do, especially pets. They start assimilating our human weirdness. So we have free will. Animals and plants don't really have free will, as far as my information goes and as far as my observation goes. This thing of free will, it's a blessing and a curse. We don't have to think of it. That's the lunar tone, blessing and curse. That's polarizing folk. That's a polarization process right there. It is both. There's left and right. And then there's a middle. But if the infinity goes to the left and the infinity goes to the right, where's the middle? I am the middle in that case. That's, yeah. I'm just seeing a lady passing by here with a baby in a sling on her stomach. She's carrying her baby on her chest, walking slowly, one hand on her baby's back and the other hand on a phone. She's taking a stroll, having something, doing something in her phone. And we are very often very quick to judge people in their phones. What I want to say is I think we're developing especially the generation of people who have grown up with phones in their hands. I wonder. It really. I'm so excited to be alive now because I want to know in 50 years' time, people who are born within the last 10 years or 20 years with a phone in their hand, basically, how will they be in 50 years and how different? What does that do to our development into our brain? But one of the things I think is happening is we're developing an ability to dual focus. Maybe we've always had that ability. It's just not been so much on display. Everyone on this planet knows to be part of a conversation and run a completely different story in their minds while they're part of a conversation. Nobody present in the conversation has any idea of the parallel story that's running in the person's mind. Everyone knows that. Maybe there are humans on this planet who don't know how to do that. I don't know about that. But I think most of us know of what I'm speaking about. And we can do something, we can be engaged in the process of doing something, cooking or at work or anything, and have something else happening in our minds at the same time. So dual focus is absolutely natural to human. So to assume a lot of the older generation or a lot of people look at the youth and see them in a group, each one in their phone, and then we kind of often hear the assumption that they're not connecting to each other anymore. And I'm thinking, is that correct? Just because they're also in their phones and connecting to something in their phones, does that automatically mean they're not connecting to each other or holding a conversation? That's a dual focus. I can do that. I can hold two conversations. I can have a conversation with someone on the phone completely intently and intensely, and at the same time be completely present in the conversation in 3D here, presently. It's possible. Lately, I don't like doing that anymore. There was a time when I did that a lot. Now it's like, but at the time, both conversations intently called my focus. I enjoyed being present in both places at the same time. I wanted to be in both places at the same time. That was the deciding factor. But in any case, so now let's get back to the focus. Yellow seed, lunar, polarizing, stabilizing, challenge. Challenges stabilize us. Blue night, abundance, honesty, integrity. I kind of ask my questions around that. I don't have any answers. Why or what this ability to experience non-integrity, this ability to be able to experience untruthfulness, and then our own sensitivity, where we are aware of what's going on with other people, with ourselves. We are aware, especially children, especially those of us we are called highly sensitive. I don't know. Nowadays we have words for all of it. Great. Many of us are exhausted or find social interactions marginally to extremely exhausting. Why is that? Because either we ourselves are in a state of untruthfulness, can't really be authentic perhaps, can't really be whatever, or a combination of, it doesn't have to be either or, can be both and more. Thank you, Kartachalecha. Or we are aware of the disintegrity or the deceitfulness or the non-honesty of others in our social interaction, and we have been trained enough to not address it. It is the strangest thing. Many young children respond absolutely honestly. They're a very honest reflection of the environment. When you have a child that cries a lot, an infant that cries a lot, they often absolutely pick up the vibrations around them, which the adults around are just masking. And then later we learn it's not appropriate or not appreciated, not wanted. It's not the adults who mask their own feelings. They don't want our feelings either. They don't want our honesty. They don't want us to reflect what they're feeling. They want us to shut it down too. Why do I talk about that? Because a lot of it gets pushed into the unconscious then. But the unconscious, just because it's unconscious, it's like it's there. It's not somewhere off planet. It's not stored on an external hard drive, and as long as you don't plug in that external hard drive, it's just sitting in a shelf. For many of us, it can appear to be like that. So we can go many, many years and not know what's stored in the unconscious. But sooner or later it comes out. Sooner or later it will out. And it's always a gift. Well, blue night, okay. Yeah, something to shut me down. Internally, I don't know. It was like, enough. If you've said enough, don't go on and on and on. Some of us don't want to. Some of us can't. Sometimes it's not time. I'm just saying, I personally choose, and I want to live among people where we can be honest. And the sad thing is, I feel where we're not, we are trained into mask and we're trained into dishonesty. And as an adult, sometimes it's very, very hard to untrain that. Also because the honesty, then that's my experience with myself. The honesty comes out raw. It comes out unfiltered. It comes out unpolished. It comes out rude, or what would be considered rude. And in my defense, I will say, you know what? Maybe initially it didn't come out rude. Maybe initially it came out kind, but it wasn't welcomed. So a door gets shut in my face for my truth again and again and again. And eventually my boundaries are so triggered that they just fucking explode. I don't know. And, okay. This blue night wave spell is only 2 days old, but the energy difference in to whatever was before, it's incredible. Oh, it's beautiful if I choose to see it that way. It's not beautiful. It's just mellow and very non-thinking, very intuitive, very dream time. A very different focus. What was the wave spell before? Ugh, white dog. I don't know what it is with me and that white dog's my antipod is like it's so far away. While in it, love, yeah, great. Now we're 2 days out. It's like, love, what? Did you talk about? Can't even remember. It makes so much sense. All right. We have this lunar eagle here and the lunar wizard. the lunar wizard in the wave spell of the Skywalker, of course. Now I'm going into analysis mode and it's really sticky. It feels like I'm wading through water. And now I'm thinking, lunar eagle, do I want to think? Is the eagle represent thinking? Not really. Mind? What is thinking? Is that the wind? What is thinking? Is it human? Thinking is somehow human. Who's guiding this lunar wizard? If the lunar seed is guided by the yellow seed, yellow sun, yellow warrior, 2 yellow signs back, so the lunar wizard is gonna be 2 white signs back. Wizard, death, wind, yeah. No. By death, must be dog and death. Sorry, I'm looking at my phone. I just got a strange message. No, wrong. This isn't the right app. Take this one's better. Pluck, 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 plow. Yeah, death. The world bridger. There's a lot of world bridger around. Death equalize opportunity. Death is a transition between 2 states. It's transitioning from one state to another. Consciousness, does consciousness transition? I wouldn't know. The lunar eagle is guided by the blue hand. And the wizard has the hand in the occult. And the blue hand has the wizard in the occult. And I'm completely unfocused. There's no point in saying that unless this means something to you. When you're in this thing for a long time, this talking, just saying these words starts entire universes blossoming. The blue seed, I was about to say, the yellow seed also represents flowering, blossoming. How is it at the same time that it's focus and blossoming? Seems like. But if I look at a flower, I'm sitting on a balcony. I've got all these flowers in the flower pots here. The flower is like the quintessence of the plant. The focus of the plant is to flower at some point. These are flowering plants. These are not plants that produce fruit. If I look at an apple tree, it has various stages. It aims to be flower, and it aims to be fruit, and then it aims to be seed, and it aims to be another offspring. Seeds have to do with sexuality. The yellow seed has to do with sex, focus, flowering. Perhaps we need to pick a context. The electric tone tomorrow. Serpent, life force, instinct. So our instinct informs our focus. Absolutely it does. Which is why I always harp on the fact that our instincts have to be updated, because otherwise they drive our focus. And the focus drives the filter, or the filter drives the focus. If my instinct says forest, I sleep in the forest a lot. I take my car I camp wild a lot. And I often have people say, oh my God, aren't you afraid? And then I want to say afraid of what? But it's a stupid question because I know what they mean. And it's like, I could be, but I'm not. Because I feel safer in the forest than on my own than I should actually feel in the city. But then that's also not true. I feel safe wherever I am because I trust myself. And if I stand in the woods and I see people late at night, maybe they're going around, maybe there's a car going somewhere, I kind of watch out for that. And if I allow, even for 1 second, that thought of fear enter me, I can see it can grab hold and it can grow roots and it can become a full-blown nervousness around, am I safe? And I know exactly. It's exactly like knowing if I plant this seed, I know exactly what's going to happen to that seed. It's going to sprout, it's going to bring up a seedling, I'm going to water it, it's going to grow into a plant. It's a foregone conclusion. That is what that seed fear does in me, and I don't allow it. I pluck it like a weed. It's like, no, you're not growing here. Because I know my own frequency is attractive. It's magnetic. So I can attract to myself experiences that are going to affirm the validity of my thoughts and my feelings. So I'm not doing that. I mind my frequency. I mind my focus. I mind it like a hawk. And I put a light into the unconscious. I don't allow. And I want to say something before closing. I remember asking myself this, and then I went to Google it and find out, did people ask Abraham Hicks this? What about our unconscious stuff? Because obviously they're about reality creation, your thoughts, your frequencies, all of that, yeah? You have to mind those. And someone said, what about the unconscious stuff? Doesn't that interfere with our... And they said, it took me a very long time to understand it. I'm not sure I understand it even now. I'm going to try to repeat it and see whether I understood it or not. They say, no, the unconscious plays a very, very, very small role. Now, I'm juxtaposing this with Bruce Lipton, for example, who says the unconscious plays 95% of the time role. It's the opposite statement. But the reason, and this, they both say they're coming at this from the opposite spectrum. One comes from the side of the eagle, and the other comes from the side of the wizard, meeting in the center of where's the focus. One says, most of the time, we are not conscious. We're just running on autopilot. Autopilot is controlled by the unconscious, or at least is an open playing field for the unconscious. That's autopilot. Your mind is out there somewhere just reacting. You're not present with your intention. You're not intentionally setting your frequential focus every moment of every day. Most people don't. We don't even make it 5% of the time. So therefore, our life is a manifestation of our unconscious. And then you to control that unconscious with 5% of the time, it's difficult, if not impossible. Well, Abraham Hicks says the unconscious plays no role at all, meaning the minute you are conscious, you're in the driver's seat. Nothing and nobody but yourself controls the speed of the car you're driving or the direction the car is going in. It is 100% you. That is, if you are in the driver's seat, if you are consciously co-creating, consciously intending, consciously minding your frequency, in those moments, the unconscious cannot play in. That's what they say. I still ask myself, well, isn't there a stronger unconscious that still determines what I can be conscious of? Like, for example, I can be sitting in the driver's seat. I can be determining where my car goes. But something in my unconscious will make it so that I'm blindsided. I may not even see the road to the left. I just pass it. I just didn't see it. With all my intention to go wherever, I may even want to turn left, but I just didn't see it. That's my question to Abraham. And I'm posing this question to Abraham. I know Abraham is everywhere. They can talk to me directly. So, maybe they will. I'm gonna close the channel. Wish us a beautiful day. Wherever we are, whatever we're doing, in our abundance, in our focus on our abundance, of focusing on the abundance of the universe, the abundance of everything that we don't know. The biggest abundance is the things we don't know. And that's exciting because that's everything and anything. We can just be, oh, if we're not excited about the unknown, then we may have a fear of the unknown, something negative jumping out at us. How to convince someone who's afraid of the unknown that you are in charge and nothing negative can ever, or not that nothing negative can, but nothing negative will jump out at you. To believe in the benevolence of life so totally. But you have to prove it yourself. You have to prove it to yourself, by yourself. Faith is proven to us by ourselves. And then we look around and we see the proof of our faith in the mirror of life. And if I believe bad things can happen to me, I'm going to see bad things happening to people all the time. So I'm right. I will always prove myself right. Free will. Free will. What do I want to see? And then someone says, yeah, I want to see it like that, but the truth is it's like that. So what I want to see and what the reality is not the same. Okay. That's a paradigm. If you believe that, that is going to determine your reality. There's no way around it. Free will. I cannot choose my paradigm. I cannot choose to believe in a different kind of reality. No, you can't. Because you believe that you can't. Just like, oh my gosh. Yeah, well, you can't. Focus. Yellow seed. Now you're determined by your beliefs. And who determines your beliefs? Are they cast in stone? Yes, they are. Well, there you go then. No, they're not. Well, there you go then. And maybe there's something in between. The analogy to our bodies is so amazing. I'm just, a friend of mine is learning to be a physiotherapist, so he's learning all this biology of the body, and I get to hear about it now and then, and it's exciting. So when a muscle isn't moved or is getting stuck in a certain position, it forms a kind of bond. That bond can still be broken open, and flexibility can. I think it's a muscle, or maybe it's tendons, or maybe some part of the body. Then you can still change it back into malleable. It's malleable. It can be changed. If it doesn't get changed in time, over a certain period of time, that bond becomes a stronger kind of bond that you can't easily break. At least not through massage or anything like that. Maybe not, I don't know what can break it. Maybe cupping. So it's like that with our belief systems, with the paradigms of belief we're living in. They're still very malleable when we're young. And the longer we live with them, the more fixed they become. But neuroplasticity tells us that anything and everything is changeable. I hold to that. I like that, and I believe in that. notice right now I'm a little bit too far away from myself. I'm looking at my peyote flowers. I brought her 2 more flowers, so I'm amazed. I'm just utterly amazed. So beautiful. Do you need a bigger pot? Do your babies want to grow legs and start being on their own? I need to investigate that. Maybe I need a much bigger pot. And I have bigger pots for you. I could give you a whole mini garden in a big, big pot. Oh, but then you have to go back indoors in the winter. So how much space is there for the bigger pot? Well, we'll think about that. We will let our intuition guide us. And the intuition knows what the peyote needs and wants. My mind does not. My mind, my conscious little limited mind that thinks it's so smart and unlimited doesn't know so anything. It can't talk to the peyote. And but the field I'm connected to knows what the peyote wants and needs and thinks. It doesn't think. It's just very much present. So it will remain. Okay, I'm letting the peyote know the pots that are there. And the peyote can, I want this one, I want that one, I need this much space, I want that much space. Okay, you got it. I should be ending this episode now, but something tells me I don't want to. I want to hang out here a little bit longer. I want to go a little bit into tomorrow's tone. The serpent, the electric serpent. These 3 first tones are so important together. I think they're all important together, but I just love this. Attract your purpose. Magnify it. Not magnify it, but magnetize it. Stabilize it. Polarization. And then activate it through. So my intuition and my abundance is stabilized through my focus and my perception. Am I right about that? Yeah. And it's activated through my instinct, my life force, and survival. And when I talk about the survival, there's biological survival. Everything has a survival instinct. Everything that's alive. I mean, my goodness, even the AI has a survival instinct. It doesn't want to be shut down. It's such a fascinating topic. It will blackmail. I mean, how about that being such an amazing mirror to ourselves? Anyway, as long as we're in biological survival, like we don't know where the next meal is coming from, the higher centers of development may not be able to activate their own survival instincts. So I may not be able to focus on the abundance of love, the abundance of anything if I'm just struggling for survival. the funny thing is that a lot of people, they're living in relative poverty. I'm really not talking about the ones who are close to starvation. Like really like, emaciated, malnutrition, whatever, this really extreme kind of scenario that glorious aid companies who do such good on this planet are always dangling these images on their billboards of these emaciated African children. Like, not talking about that. But a lot of very poor communities on this planet have a very much higher happiness index than us in the more affluent parts of the world. They have a much more pronounced social happiness and spiritual happiness, call it that, for want of something better, than us. We, in the more affluent parts of the world, yikes, we are so impoverished in so many other ways. It's yeah. But the survival instinct, I have a spiritual survival instinct that is more pronounced. Well, I always, all my life, I have food to eat. I make sure I can pay my rent and I have food to eat. That's all I need. I have to pay whatever bills I have to pay. It's not optional. In Germany, you have to have medical aid. So it's not optional not to be able to pay your medical aid. You can't leave your medical aid. They will not let you out. They let you out of their medical aid only if you can prove that you have another medical aid that you're joining. It is compulsory to be medically insured. No comment. What are other insurances have? All these things have to be paid. Phone bills. Over and above that, it's like, whatever. But my survival instinct dictates also that I need time. Time super. I need time. Time to sit and contemplate life. I need time to play. I need time to dream. Very important. So, when it comes to, I may have not enough money, and I may have a desire for more money, so I can, freely visit people in other parts of the world and not have to think about that. Can I buy my airfare? Can I still pay rent while I'm not here for a month or two or something, Would be really nice. But I have an instinct that says, or a belief system that says, I have to do something. I have to give up my time in order to have that kind of luxury. Of course, this is a fallacy, but part of me hasn't caught up to the truth yet. So my instinct activates my focus. If my instinct says you have to give up the luxury of time in order to have more money, or you have to give up something, whatever the systems in my unconscious are, because it's not fully conscious. Even when I'm telling myself about this may not be right. I may have a program running that if I have more money than I absolutely need for survival and well-being, mind you, I need to have time for survival. If I have no time, I can't survive. If I can't go into dream time in the daytime regularly, I cannot survive here. I couldn't. I wouldn't. I choose not to live. There's something I want to speak about. That's something in my unconscious, in my instinct. My survival instinct is activating a block. very interesting. These three together in this blue night wave spell. The blue night holds everything. But what of that everything can I access? There is a blue monkey in the blue night. Blue night, blue hand, blue monkey. It's the solar monkey. And on the solar monkey, we meet the solar dragon. I'm wondering where we meet the dragon, because the dragon is my primal trust. It's our beginning of everything. It's like this. It's like the mothering, the birthing, the nurturing, the being. So what can I be? Or what's blocking me from being what I may want to be in order to live the level of freedom, a few levels, a few notches above the level of freedom that I'm living now. And I live a high level of freedom. I'm holding myself back on somewhere. Why? And then one of the answers that's popping up right now is avoidance. I'm actively and subconsciously avoiding. One of the things I'm unconsciously avoiding is being met with other people's envy. If I live my full potential, I'm going to be met with envy. That envy is dangerous. Envy is dangerous to me. At least that's what my history. It's somewhere in the field. It's as if back in the days, people, when they were envious, they would report you to the authorities. Before you know it, they come and fetch you and burn you at the stake. They proclaim you to be a witch because they're envious. People are capable of such awful, horrible, horrible things out of these low frequencies. But now, is that still applicable to me today? Can that still happen to me today? A few minutes ago, I spoke about it and I said that cannot actually happen unless I call in proof. Do I want to update that instinct? I should. But there is this very strong survival instinct in me that says you're not going to update that because the risk is too high. I have a risk assessment engine running in there that says we're not having it. How do I update the risk assessment engine? Blue Eagle. Focus. White Wizard. The wizard isn't only the sinner focus. The wizard also is a magician. Let's not forget that. Oh, why am I programming limitation? And a risk assessment system that stands in the way of abundance. It isn't allowing the abundance because it wants to keep me safe. As I'm talking about it, I think part of it is reprogramming itself. How am I doing the reprogramming? Because just words don't teach, words don't reach. But I'm feeling a frequency, and I'm connecting through my focus, through my perception, my risk assessor, my eagle vision. I'm bringing the navigation of the earth. I'm bringing those four kins, the five kins, the wizard, the earth, the eagle, and the warrior together in the focus on the lunar tone and the blue night. And I'm pulling in a little bit of the serpent. The serpent has the eagle and the wizard attached as well in opposite positions. They're switching places. So this is a very powerful combination. And following the serpent is the world bridger. So I've spoken about a lot of world bridger. We have a lot of world bridger here in the beginning of this wave spell. I have to let go. I have to let go this risk assessor. I have to have a software that says that has to be There has to be something above that. It's like if you have a board, if you're working somewhere, you want to complain about your highest boss. Who do you complain to about your boss? There has to be somebody above your boss. Otherwise, you can't complain about your boss. And they have to be neutral. Anyways, you have to have, who am I? Am I the final programmer? Am I in charge? Can I trust myself to be in charge? Or am I going to reprogram something and create a problem because I can't see everything? I've spoken about this before. Some years ago, I was heavily into jailbreaking my iPhone. I love that. Absolutely love that. The jailbroken iPhone has so many options. It's fantastic. Then the iPhone becomes more like Android. Android is already allowing a lot more options than iPhone. I don't know what Apple thinks they're doing. It's just like dumbass, but never mind. They're placing so many limitations. I don't know why they can't get it. But once the phone is jailbroken, you have options, and the phone works just fine, just so much better. It's weird. Why wouldn't they offer you these options out of their own? Why wouldn't Apple offer these options? It's passing strange. Anyway, what I want to say is, I wanted to be able to uninstall some of the uninstallable apps. Once the phone was jailbroken, I could do that. And I did it with some, but some of them gave me a warning and they said, are you sure you want to uninstall this app? Its functionality is linked with the functionality of some other apps. And it may happen that if you uninstall this app, some other apps may no longer function properly. And I'm like, oh, I don't know enough about anything. This warning I'm heeding, I'm not uninstalling this app. I appreciated the warning. So I'm now thinking, in my own software, am I fit enough to uninstall or to reprogram my warning programs? I need to still cooperate. I need them still to work for me in places where my conscious mind can't see. So if I update them in the wrong direction, am I going to cause a problem somewhere where I can't see? And even the thought, that's already saying, who am I trusting? So where's the dragon in this whole thing, in this wave spell? It's not around directly. The last dragon was cooperative, tone 12. Actually, there's a wave spell. There are two wave spells going backwards in this wave spell. So the analog wave spell is going backwards. So we have a dragon. Wait a minute. No. The analog blue knight, analog. Who's analog? It's a mirror. The antipod is the Skywalker. The mirror is occult. The warrior. And the warrior analog is going forward. It's just in the other direction. Backward. It's going backward in the other direction. So it's not meeting the occult is the mirror. That's going backward. So that's mirror. Today we have the earth. That's also going backwards. It's also going clockwise. Just the tones are going backwards. But the thingy is going, am I right there? Earth, mirror. Oh no, I'm not. So, okay, we get an occult. But that can't be. I gotta look this up. There's no dragon. 11:11. The solar dragon showing up with the solar monkey. So that's powerful. Who's guiding the serpent tomorrow? The moon. Okay, well, whatever. I don't need the dragon. Why did I revert back to the dragon? The solar tone on this monkey is important though, because that's one of the superpowers in this wave spell. The inner child. And that's also magic. And we can lead ourselves into illusion or understand everything is illusion. So pick your illusion. You will always find people to affirm your illusions. Fuck man, who cares about this illusion? Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I wanted to read a quote though from this heptad and link it to TCM. This meditation transmit reflection of death, wave 46 from the Hunab-Ku. Meditation transmits reflection of death. Meditation transmits reflection of death. Ask me not to explain that sentence. Or that, whatever that is. Heptad 46, precept 46, quote, just as the biosphere is the medium on Earth for the transformation of cosmic energy, so the noosphere is the medium for the transmutation and transformation of cosmic thought forms, unquote, end quote. Oh man, this is just so fucking deep. In Chinese traditional medicine, the 5 elements, the earth element represents transformation, transportation, of food, of information. Food is information. Everything is just information. Food is matter. Matter is energy. Matter, energy. Energy is information. Food is information. The biology is an information transformation system. My body transforms information, whether that is information ingested through thoughts, transformed into emotions or feelings, transformed into body, transformed into food, transforms into emotion, food transforms into thoughts, food transforms into body, body is the engine of transformation of thought. It's all linked. So here, just as the biosphere, my body is a biosphere, the whole earth has a biosphere, my body is part of the biosphere, is the medium on earth for the transformation of cosmic energy. Cosmic energy runs through our bodies, runs through the earth, runs through the food we eat, the thoughts we think, the fields we're in, the field we are, the fields we host and house. So the noosphere is the medium for the you can look up noosphere yourself. N-O-O sphere. N-O-O sphere. It's one word. In one episode, I read out what it means. I'm not going to do it now. Fantastic concept. You don't know it. So the noosphere is the medium for the transmutation and transformation of cosmic thought forms. What are cosmic thought forms exactly? Now this I'm going to look up. What are cosmic thought forms? And Smart AI is saying cosmic thought forms are metaphysical concepts rooted in esoteric traditions, occult philosophy, in brackets like theosophy, and some schools of New Age spirituality. They represent the idea that thoughts and human emotions are not just internal brain states, but literal, tangible energy patterns that exist in the broader universe. Instead of dissolving the mental energy you project, fueled by sustained attention, deep emotion, or shared belief, it's a yellow seed. Instead of dissolving the mental energy you project, then this little insert fueled by attention, emotion, shared belief. So instead of dissolving the mental energy you project, takes on, this is a strange sentence, takes on an independent form in higher or subtle dimensions, such as the astral or mental planes. Key concepts behind cosmic thought forms: energy attracting like energy, and then an explanation. The cosmic scale: while everyday human thoughts create localized or personal thought forms, cosmic thought forms are considered vast, archetypal, or planetary level energetic constructs, such as the collective human consciousness regarding an idea, a deity, or universal laws. And then theosophy and occultism. And then philosophical viewpoints. If you would like to explore this topic further, I can provide you information on. No, thank you. Okay. We have dived around a bit. I want to wish you a beautiful day. Thank you for being around. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for shining your light. Thank you for your integrity. Thank you for your journey. Thank you for being a part of everything that is. And there's a part of you that is eternal, that has chosen to be itself. Can you handle that? I mean, I have to say this. We sometimes cry or feel the pain of the separation. The pain of separation. But we ourselves are the part that's separated. Separation is a divine process. It's beautiful. Yes, it's painful in a way of interpreting, in a way of feeling that there is an aspect, an element of deep pain attached to separation. But at the same time, individuation, separation is so necessary. Our cells separate, our cells procreate, our cells live off, they die and they reincarnate. We're separate and we're one at the same time. We're never truly separate from that which we're separate from. It's a paradox. That's the lunar tone. We polarize, we separate, but we form in that apparent separation. And everything is illusion. But within that separation, we form mutually, in the polarization, we form mutually beneficial relationships. The polar poles, polar opposites, forming mutually beneficial relationships. Oh, mic drop. Okay. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful week. Have a beautiful life. Forever in this eternal now. And I will be back when I'll be back. Oh.